Boy, howdy. Today I am going to make you seafood casserole. The Brits might call it a fish pie, but I call it seafood casserole. I guess because it has mashed potatoes on top, like a shepherd's pie. But you can see I'm prepping now. So I'm just prepping my potatoes, and we're going to boil them, and we're going to mash them. There you go. Not a lot of thought has to go into this. Now to the good stuff. So in this large saucepan, I'm going to lay in my salmon. I have three kinds of seafood. Salmon, cod, I got 2 cod fillets, and then about a 1/4 pound of peeled, deveined shrimp, raw shrimp. And then I'm going to throw in 2 cloves of garlic, which I'm going to take out later, but it's going to help flavor everything up. Now I'm pouring in 2½ cups of whole milk. No heavy cream, just whole milk. Simple as that. And we're going to poach the fish. So I'm going to put it on the stove in a little bit, and then we're going to reserve all that milk because it's going to be chock full of seafood flavor and super tasty, especially with the garlic. So now in here I just have butter, I have some Cajun seasoning, garlic, salt, and pepper, and we're going to add our potatoes. And then here's the secret. I'm going to add a cup of shredded aged white cheddar cheese. And we're going to mash it up. Now the aged white cheddar is so much better than your orange regular cheddar. It just has more of a Parmesan-y taste to it. It's just sharper. And it's so worth it. So I got my potatoes all mashed up. Let's get to cooking the fish. So I put this on the burner, and we're going to bring it up to a simmer and poach it for like 3 minutes. And don't worry if the fish isn't completely cooked through, because we're going to bake it later anyway. So once that's done, I have my trusty favorite cast iron pan here. I'm just going to take the fish and we're going to throw it into this cast iron skillet. This is the perfect baking receptacle because it makes a lot. Not enough for a 9x13, but too much for an 8x8. You know what I mean? So this is kind of in between those two things. So I'm going to take all this out, and again, like I said, I'm going to reserve that milk. Super important. Don't throw it out. And once you get all the fish into the pan, because here comes the big old hunks of salmon, then we're going to remove the skin from the salmon. So I put it skin side up when I lay it in here. That just makes it easier. And the skin comes right off. After just 3 or 4 minutes of poaching in that liquid, the skin will come right off. Because, you know, gross. Salmon skin. I don't want to eat that unless it's super crispy and fried. So here I am, throwing it away. Who cares if you get a few little chunks? But anyway, once you get this, the skin removed, then we're just going to take a fork and we're going to shred the fish. However, it's important to note that when you're shredding the fish, you don't want to shred it. You just want to break it up into large chunks, like bite-sized chunks. Because if you shred it, then it becomes tuna. And we don't want that either. And you got your shrimp in there. This is just wonderful seafood flavor. Once I get that all done, I'm going to steam a half a bag of spinach in just like a 1/4 inch of water. And then I'm going to drain it off. And we're just going to put this all around the pan. Now I've transformed this into a health food because you have seafood and you have spinach. What? I dare anybody to tell me otherwise. So, once you get that all done, we're going to make our béchamel or our white sauce. So this is just a 1/4 cup of butter. I'm going to throw in some salt and some pepper, and then 2 tablespoons of flour. 1. And I got my heat on medium to medium high. We're going to stir this up, and we're just going to cook the raw flour taste out. Just about 1 minute. We're going to stir it around for 1 minute. Then, after that, we're going to grab our milk that we reserved, and we're going to pour it in there. I just poured a little bit in initially just to get it going, and then I dumped the whole thing in there. And all you're going to do is you're just going to stir this around until it gets thick. If it gets too thick, add more milk. Just like that. Not thick enough, keep stirring, and it'll eventually evaporate out and get thick enough. And season to taste. Okay, salt and pepper it up. Just taste it before you pour it in here. So now I'm going to pour this all over our lovely seafood and our spinach. And I can tell you right now, our house smells wonderful already, and it's not even in the oven. What? I know, for real. Get all that out of there, because that's ton of flavor right there. And I did remove the 2 cloves of garlic, by the way. So if it doesn't look right, give it a little shove. Get over there, you. Once you get it all evenly done, you better poke that fish underneath. Get up underneath that sauce fish. Give it a poke. Yep. And I totally licked my finger, and I was glad I did. So there. It was good, good, good. I washed my hands, though, before I started this. Now, our mashed potatoes, I'm just going to spoon them out over the top until I covered the entire surface. Super easy peasy, right? There is nothing hard about this so far. Oh, and then I had to lick my finger one more time, because you know what? I'm cooking it. I can do what I want. Anyway, take a fork and start to smooth it out. Smooth it out until it's all smooth. And you just want to make sure it's like a top crust that you're doing. Once you get that done, turn the fork over and score the top. This creates little ridges that are going to brown up and get crispy and good. And then we're going to put on top of this about a half a cup of more of that white aged cheddar. You can find it in most stores. We found it in a block and it's Kerrygold, which is really good. And I shredded it myself. So once you get that all on there, it's going to go in a 400-degree oven for 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, move it up to the top rack and broil it for another 2, just to make sure the top gets nice and crispy and browned. Here it is. Are you ready? Booyah! Well, premature on the booyah. All right, look at this. This tastes wonderful. We had guests over last night. Everybody, all friends, family, whatever. And they all went crazy for it. I know you will too. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing. Peace out.